Okay, now it's setting up. Or okay, here we go.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this new event of the Stories for Max People Facebook Live series. My name is Eleonora Lamio. I am project manager and policy officer at Diesis Network. Diesis Network is the European network for the development and promotion of social economy in Europe. Diesis is one of the partners of the Max project. The Max project is the project hosting this event. The Max project is a project funded by the European Commission, in particular DG Home. It's a project focused on migration and about changing the narrative on migration and showcasing the positive impact that migrants have in the European society. The Max project has 20 partners from all over Europe, and our main activities are research activities, training for journalists, events, online and offline, hopefully, and communication and dissemination activities. Today, we are hosting this Facebook Live in the framework of the Stories for Max People series. Each Facebook Live that happens every month is a 30 minutes conversation with some of the Max project partners. Since the 8th of March was the International Women's Day, we decided to focus this Facebook Live on migrants women. Today, we have with us two of the Max partners. So we have Youth Included with Ekaterina Kokkalou and the European Professional Network with Hakan Aycicek. I can welcome, first of all, to the two of you. Thank you for being here with us. And maybe if you can start by presenting yourself and your organization. Maybe Ekaterina, you can start.
So very nice to see online everybody. Pity that we cannot be all live after 1 year still. Youth Included is a platform. It's a grassroots organization basically managed by migrants and organizing activities and projects and initiatives for migrants. So migrants for migrants. And Youth Included was established in 2012. So we are currently already, will close 9 years. And I think for grassroots organization, it's quite a good milestone. We passed through the phases when we were all volunteering and we're trying to make the ends meet. And I would say that now we are among two grassroots organizations who are basically the only one in the Czech Republic trying now to establish platform in order for the migrants to be heard by the government, because currently in the Czech Republic, all the decisions are made without us, because we don't have representatives. We have as local projects, it's a very big pillar for us, and the international initiatives. So among the local projects, we have projects which are managed by younger, let's say, younger migrants. So I would say from 20 to 30 years old, and all of them are connected with talent development and empowerment. And while I was preparing for today live, and one of the questions which will be afterwards, it's very interesting, but the initiatives are managed by women, which maybe is the situation in a lot of countries, but as for our organization, it's not on purpose, it's just happened like that. So among the local initiatives, it's initiatives which are connected with empowerment and talent development in different areas. So just to make an example, it can be connected with arts in integration. It can be connected with networking, so sharing of different skills, upscaling of different skills on the local level. More or less like, let's say, with attitude of peer education. So when migrants do the things for migrants or teach migrants, or those who already have the skills upscaled will teach those who need to be upscaled. And as for international initiatives, it's projects like which I will also mention later, like RIDE, or like we have the project ICT for TCN, which is also connected with the digital empowerment of migrants.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina. And Hakan, if you can now present yourself and your organization.
Okay, good afternoon and welcome everybody to the program called Stories from Max Project Series. And today is focusing on the migrant women in particular. So we would like to address the important role of migrant women in changing the societies. My name is Hakan Aycicek. I'm the Secretary General of European Professionals Network, and also the member of Max Project. European Professionals Network is a Brussels-based civil society organization, and is founded in 2009. And it established to provide the professionals in Belgium with a service and to foster career development and awareness raising and network building and social enrichment. In last years, EPN has been involved in social projects in the collaboration with the European Commission. It's representing the values of inclusion and integration, especially for the vulnerable groups and individuals. And EPN have organized numerous seminars, workshops, and discussions groups, panels, and roundtables, especially on the issues of the leadership, career development, and employment. And also he tries to tackle with the crucial and social issues such as education, integration, diversity, and immigration, and also the refugee issues as well. And for last 3 years, EPN has focusing on especially the refugee and the immigrant issues, and so many of the immigrants are coming from the professional background as well. So, for example, they are lawyer or they are teacher in their home countries, and they moved the Belgium, so they are tackling with the difficulties, the professional integration with their background as well. So we try to make the programs and the links, try to establish links for those professional backgrounds will be also valued in Belgium as well. So thanks to Max Project, it also speed up our current mission to integrate immigrants and the refugees, the professional refugees and the immigrants who has the professional background into the Belgium labor market or professional positions. And especially the women also took a crucial part in our activities that we are going to discuss, I'm sure, today. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Hakan and Ekaterina. Now we can really jump into the topic of today, so migrants women. So it will be, I think, interesting for our audience to learn more about your activities targeting in particular migrant women and focusing on empowering migrant women. So for instance, Ekaterina, I know that Youth Included has a project, which is the right project specifically on this, because Diesis is also part of this project. So maybe you can talk more about this project and your activities in general.
Thank you. So RIDE is one of the international initiatives that we are participate in. RIDE is quite new, so it's just started, and I can just say what is it about and what is the foreseen future for it. So RIDE is an international project which basically has the aim to empower women through the digital upscaling and inclusion them into the labor market through giving them digital skills. And I should say that we also do second initiative which is connected with the upscaling in digital skills, but it's not only for women. So it's our second project with the same topic. And I think that it can be a very impactful initiative for the Czech Republic. I mean, I would more see it for Prague because we're based in Prague, and I think that probably it will start here. Because here in the Czech Republic, more than 50% of immigrants, migrants are women. And the biggest problem is that what they are challenged with is not only the fact that they are working in non-qualified jobs, but they're also discriminated from several positions. So from the fact that they're women, so from the fact of their ethnicity or cultural background, and from the qualification wise. In comparison with other European countries, we don't have so developed qualification system in order for the person who came here to insert himself in the labor market wise, which will benefit and the hosting society much more than if the lawyer would work as a cleaner. But at the moment, the situation is still where it is, talking about the labor market integration of migrants here. And as I said, women are sadly even more discriminated as well. If the employer will know that the women have kids, so have to bring money home, there can be the situation that instead of 40 hours agreed, will have to work 60 hours because the employer will know that the woman needs to bring money home. So digital market is, we know that it's now as well on the rise with all the situation, and empowerment of digital skills can give a fresh breath to women, and hopefully we would be able to change or at least to give the tendency for a change in this direction.
Thank you very much, Ekaterina. Hakan, maybe you can also share the activities of EPN targeting women and empowering also migrant women.
Yes, thank you. Definitely. So the activities of the MAX project perhaps could be considered perhaps the usual activities, but for the women, especially for the immigrant and the refugee women, it is so important. So I'd like to start with the first, before the activities, their mood, I mean, their psychology, the women's psychology, the immigrant women's psychology that we are tackling with in nowadays, actually. So I'd like to begin with only one story. Normally, she would be participate for today, but in case of she doesn't want to be appear, still in the social platforms, because you will understand when I'm telling the story. And secondly, she cannot speak in English fluently. That is why I'm telling her story on behalf of her to all the audience. I'd like to start with this story because the other activities are so meaningful for this type of people, how important to understand the dark side, and the bright side will be brighter when we talk about the dark side as well. So the one story with one of the ladies is a psychologist living in Turkey. And in 2016, very weird and strange thing happens for many professionals in Turkey. So she was one of them. She has to flee the country, but before to flee the country, she's dismissed from the governmental position, and she became just jobless all of a sudden. And furthermore, police came to her house twice to arrest her, just the accusation of the belonging a minority group, a psychologist. It's very the severe political reasons. She has to leave her country, and it's a very long and dangerous journey. Now she just arrived in Belgium, so she tried to survive, not only her life, also her professional background as well as a psychologist. So this is one of the stories among many of them. So the MAX activities attach great importance this type of women in general. So what we do basically, first of all, we do interviews. Interviews is plays a very important role, because in the interviews there's a kind of emotional release sessions, a kind of psychotherapeutic sessions. There's those interviews. So in those interviews, the women have a chance to at least tell their stories, release their emotions, and then just the feeling of acceptance, the feeling of belongingness happens with these interviews. This is so important. So the second, I'm just going to talk about the main activities. So we perform several activities, but I'm going to talk about the 5 important activities. And the second, we organize in-service trainings for these women, because the Belgium has very completely different financial system, completely different, the training. So the professional qualification is completely different. So we try to make those women be familiarized with the Belgian professional system, labor market, job market, financial issues with the in-service trainings. And this is the second one. The third one, we organize seminars for these kind of women. So in those seminars, we talk about variety of issues, how to apply a job, how to prepare a CV, and the dress code, and so on and so forth. I mean, in the parenting skills, so we gave very diverse topics of the seminars that we organize for those women. And the fourth one, so we conduct career counseling sessions for those women specifically, individually as well. So language learning process, and then how to go and visit an interview, how to what are the principles for the interviews, and what jobs or what kind of positions can be suitable for those kind of women, so on and so forth. So we are conducting these career sessions for those women in order to start a fresh start in Belgium from perhaps not the ideal way, but at least some way. And the fifth one that we can mention here, the body system, because we have some immigrants and the refugees, they are here in Belgium, let's say more than 5 years or 10 years. And we have newcomers as well. So those experienced ones can help in the individually, the one-to-one, or the newcomers as well, that we call in the body system. So that helps also fasten the process of involving for the women in Belgium.
Thank you very much, Hakan. And if I can also ask you, according to the work of your organization in particular, what role do migrant women play in your local community, and especially in relation to migrants' integration, and how do they positively contribute to changing the narrative?
I also would like to focus on another story. I'd like to go with the story base for your question. For example, one of our women immigrants, after a very long process, she has just started as a psychological coaching. I mean, the coaching position here, but it was a long journey actually, you know. When she arrived in Belgium, there are two main formalities. The first of all, she needs to be accepted. She needs to be overwhelmed. She needs to be at least, you know, understand. Now I am not in my country, so I'm a completely new country, new diverse. I mean, so many things are very new for her. So the beginning, she tried to get rid of all obstacles and the cultural shock as well. And this is the first step that she has to overcome. And secondly, she has just started to define the ways to how they, I mean, how psychologists can work, or, you know, at least the qualifications issues and the getting licenses, so many issues as well. So for her story, one of our experienced psychologists, and who lives in Belgium so many years, shows she took a role for her adaptation into the system. And even the small formalities play very crucial gap. For example, even the diploma equalization is a very big process in Belgium. So there are too many formalities and so on and so forth. So those in our body system, this woman had help from our experienced immigrants. First of all, she get her NARI equalization, and then the next step. Normally, the financial system so complex in Belgium, so we also help her to understand the financial issues in Belgium as well. So, and then recently, she became self-employed psychologist just recently. So it's a very bright success story for her, and she became a very good role model for other immigrant women, because we have lawyers, doctors, and teachers as well. So this is only one success story actually. Now she opened her company, so she has just started to giving sessions to not only for the Belgian people. So for example, this lady also helping giving a psychological support to the newcomers as well. So the system can repeat itself. So that woman, just 2 years ago, just a vulnerable immigrant, and she doesn't know what to do. But after 2 years later, now she is an expert. Now she can give and offer seminars for the newcomers. Perhaps in future, she thinks hire other life coaches, education coaches, youth coaches in her company. So it's a kind of, you know, it's going to be the growing business for her. And we have the same story for the teachers as well. In Belgium, again, there's too many formalities being a teaching position in Belgium. So with the same story, like these women, we have a teacher now. So these two models can be the models for other women who's still waiting for their equalization and other formalities as well. So since our time is too short, so I'd like to just keep it short, and only the two models that I mentioned here.
Thank you very much, Hakan. Unfortunately, Ekaterina had trouble with her connection, and we lost her. But thank you very much for sharing with us your work as EPN, and in particular some success stories of the women you work with. Thank you very much. We will end here. I would like to remind to our audience that the Stories from Max People Facebook Live series comes each month. So just keep following our social media to learn more about the next ones. Thank you, Hakan. Thank you, EPN. And thank you to all the ones who follow us until now.
Thank you
Have a
very
nice
much. It's
afternoon.
our pleasure.
Thank you.